Hey guys, Mr. Randall, how's everyone doing? Glad to be doing this stuff again with you guys. So, today what we're going to be looking at is reviewing means and medians. And I think we can get a little bit of clarification on exactly how to do that, or the difference between them, and also we can always practice our skills as well. And then later we will be talking about statistical modes. Probably the easiest one just to do. It doesn't really require a whole lot of math, but we still need to take our time, not make little mistakes that can hurt us. And one quick thing, guys, these dates that I have up here, these are more ideally how I've dated them. So if you are sitting here and you see on the top date that it's the 25th, and it turns out it's the 27th the first time you see it, don't worry. The biggest thing that I can say about that, guys, is so this is a learning experience for everyone involved. So like Mr. Smith and I, him and I are still trying to work out the kinks of this as well. So just kind of bear with us. We'll get through it together, but again, the biggest thing is you guys need to continue your education, and that's what these videos are for. We're understanding, especially looking at this transition we're in. Okay, so let's take a look. So we're trying to find the median. Oh, forgot to switch my colors again. Find the median of Mason's points per game. So we need to find the median of this data set. Well, what we're going to have to do is put it in number order. So let's do exactly that. So I have a 3 I see. Next one I see is a 5, 7. Let's keep looking here. I see a 12. Then a 13. And then a 14. So these keep canceling. One thing that is helpful, if you look, what I'm doing is I'm scanning for any numbers that start with 1. Okay, I don't see any. So that means I'm going to work up to my 2s. There's a 20. I don't see any number smaller or another 20. Okay, so I can cancel him. See a lot of 23s. 4 of them to be exact. Maybe that's alluding to something that we'll have later in this video. 23, 20. Why do I keep writing 3s? 23, 23. So I have all my 23s gone. So now I have a 29. Any other 20s I'm missing? And then 39, 40, 56. Okay. So now let's take a look. I'm just going to erase this to clean it all up now. Okay. So looking at our data set here, we're going to find the median. And the median is the one where we cancel out from the outside. So what I'm going to do is start doing that. Let's get a little fancy here, and I'll even use a red pen. Okay, so we cancel out the 3 and the 56, the 5 and the 40, 7 and 39, 12 and 29, 13 and 23, okay, 14 and 23. The important thing that I see this as is a step where I'm canceling these together. So here, I canceled these out together. Because sometimes what you can do is you can go back and forth and get caught up. So now I've actually caused myself to get confused because we've canceled 1. So here's our first ones we canceled. 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. Okay, so let's go back to my red pen. I'm going to cancel out this 20 and this 23. Those are the seventh. That's the seventh pair I've canceled out, leaving me with 23. So 23 would be my answer. Okay. So now let's look at this one. Make sure we have our calculators out. So, find Val's earned run average for the following set of 10 games. Looking at that, it doesn't tell me to find the mean, median, or anything. But what does average mean? Average. What does that mean? It means mean. So, knowing that, we're going to find the mean of this data set right here. Okay? So, let's do that. So I get out your calculators. 4 plus 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1 plus 0 plus 9. So, altogether we're going to get 46. We're not done. We need to divide by 10 games. Let's make sure we have 10 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Man, looks like Mr. Randall made another mistake. 11 games. 11 games. So, here we go. We divide that by 11 now. And we would get what? So once we divided that, we would get 4.18 repeating. Just keep that as 4.18. Another thing that is totally fine is if you type that into a calculator and you still get 46 over 11, I would recommend you make that a mixed number, where that would become 4 and 2/11. That's the same answer, and that's the same answer. So whichever one you think works best for you. Okay. So moving on, we've looked at the median, and we found our average, now our mean. So another important one, which if we look back on this, we see the word mode. What we have to do, though, is realize that mode is that top hump right there. So, looking at that, what do you think a mode is? Go ahead and share with your neighbor. Good. The mode, the best way to think about it is the most common number in a data set. So, the number that occurs the most. I think of that sometimes as an arcade game, because you think about it, if you go up to an arcade game, they might have different modes to play, right? I know Pac-Man does. And usually what it'll say is this one particular mode is the most popular. It's the most popular mode on a video game. Mode, most popular. Okay. So, how many modes can there be? There can be a max of 2. Because what will happen is if you have numbers that double up, or you can have multiple modes, but you can only have 2 different answers. So we look here. If we have if we have 4 different numbers maybe that all ties the mode, we won't have a mode. But if we had something where it doubled up, or 2 numbers tied for the mode, then we'll have 2 answers as our mode. So let's look here. I can see, let's find the mode of this data set right here. So 12, do I see any? No, I don't see any 12s. 14s, 17s, 17s, nope. 11s, no. 18s, I see 2 18s right here. So the 18 happens the most common. So our answer is going to be 18. Okay? And here's just a fun example to look at. The most common zodiac signs for every state. If you want to know, Mr. Randall is a Leo. At least I think. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of zodiac signs. But if you are, good for you. So we look here. These are the most common zodiac signs for every state. So what they would have had to have done is gotten a lot of data from every person and said, okay, well, we look at South Dakota. South Dakota's right here, and it's Cancer. So they collected data of every South Dakotan, theoretically at least, collected all the data, realized that, okay, there's so many cancers. The most common one is the Cancer. So that is just kind of a fun example. Okay, so taking a look again right here. Find the mode of the following set. Well, if you look at this one might be a little easy. If you look at that, it's a smaller set and you can see like, okay, 18, 18. Pretty quick. If you did this in 15 seconds, I wouldn't be surprised. But this one's a little more tough because not only is it longer, but I see a lot of 6s and a lot of 9s. To the point where, I mean, you could maybe make an educated guess, but it's a little harder just looking straight at it. So, like we did with the median, what we're going to do is we're going to write it in order. So we have 0, 1. Those cancel out. I see a 2. I also see 2 3s. So right now it looks like our mode might be 3. But we keep going. I see a 5. Any 4s? I see a 5. And another 5. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4 6s. So those all cancel out. And then a 7 and 3 9s. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, looking at that, we then can see, well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase the numbers that I know aren't. So actually, let's not do that. So we have 0 here again. My bad, guys. So we look. Okay. Well, it has to be the 6s because there's 4 of these. There's 3, 2s, but there's none of them with 4. So the most common number in that set is 6. Well, little surprise for you guys. I already wrote my answer, and it's just behind this cute dog. There he is. 6. So, looking at this, we're going to find the mode of the following data set. No cute dog on this one, though. Sad. Well, let's write it in order. So we have 2s. We got rid of our 2. 4, 5, 7s. And now is a good time. It's never a bad idea to just double check what you have going on. So I cancel out my numbers here. And I can only see double digits. So I know I'm in the clear. So going forward, I see 2 11s. Cancel those out. Then I also see a 14 and a 16. Okay, any digits with the 10s? No. I only see 20s and 30s. So we keep going. I see 2 20s. Cancel those out. 22, 25, 26, 33. And I canceled those out just because I saw that they went in number order. Okay, so now everything's canceled out here. Everything's canceled out and in number order. Sometimes it's nice to just double check. Okay, that's all in number order. Yep. Okay. So, let's take a look. Then. So, not going to be 2, 4, 5, 7. Could be 11. 14, 16, no. 20s. 22, 25, 26, 30. Okay, so looking at that, we have now 2 answers. Is that okay? To have 2 answers? Well, if it happens the most common, that's okay. So our answer is now going to be 11 and 20. There's our answer. But what if I had a 2 over here? Well, then we would have 3 modes, and you can't have 3. You can only have 2. Did not mean for that to be the eraser. 20. But we can't have 2. So our answer is 11 and 20. If we had that 2 there, we would have no mode. But doesn't matter because that wasn't in our data set. Okay. Just to take a look back here, we have a quizzes assigned. Here's your code.